Now, I have been trying to film this all day long. I'm sorry, guys. I'm frustrated. One, about this crock pot because I hate my house smelling like food, but somebody else wanted to do that. That's just minor. When I get frustrated about everything. And two, I came home for a quick lunch. I cooked this pasta last night. But I'm really frustrated over the house and the whole situation. I don't think we're going to get the house. The other part of this dynamic duo is like a real estate construction aficionado. They itemized a 30-point bullet point document on all the things that was wrong and why it was not worth the price. There were some points of reason on there. The main thing is like the house would have had to be repainted because they did like a total rush job on it. What else? The front was brick, the side was wood, and there was some rotting siding that was found. The fence was falling down in the back. The pool would have had to be replastered. They're like cosmetic things, but if you're spending more than what the house is worth, it's already kind of frustrating, so you want everything to be right? I still feel like that's my house. I'm pissed off at it because I like getting what I want. Now, I'm not always right. You guys know that's my motto. I'm not always right. But what I learned about this was that what I'm willing to pay and what others are willing to pay as a surcharge are totally different and can be like a bone of contention. Like, I'm not paying a fair price on my current apartment. There's no reason why. I don't pay a fair price on a Louis Vuitton bag. You can buy bags at Target. There's no reason why. It's just that when I like something and I want what I like. And to have another person make me feel bad or uneducated or making an uneducated decision, even if they're right in their own world and their own reasoning and their own logic, it's fine. Like how people say, I would never buy a Louis Vuitton bag when I can buy purses at Target or Michael Kors or Brahmin or whatever and pay $300 and be done with it. I totally get it. But does that make me happy? I'm really struggling. On being fair and not being rude. Because I got rude this morning. I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, I wasn't even waking up. I was like awake. I couldn't even sleep. He was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm worried. I'm like homeless. He's like, why are you homeless? You call this homeless? I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm homeless right now. Like, I went on to a month-to-month lease thinking that this was going to go through, and it's not. And I feel like we're back to square one. And the sellers, we do feel like they lied to us because they said that they have two other people who are willing to pay full price. We feel like that's a lie because they also said they didn't get the email with all the bullet points of things that need to be fixed. Because the real estate agent sent that to them, number one, and he's on his game. And number two, the house has been on the market the entire year, and you haven't had one offer. But all of a sudden, we come in and make an offer and point out why it's not moving, like what's reasonable for it. Now you guys have two imaginary ones, okay, or two real ones, whatever. They probably don't want to deal with us, which is fine. I know everything happens for a reason, you know what I mean? But I have been looking at houses, homes, however you say it, for months now, and nothing else has compared to that for me. And I want some heat, y'all. I'm going to put some sriracha on this. And I'm just like, I'm disappointed. And your girl ain't got time to be disappointed at 35. She has had enough disappointment in her life, and I know that's unreasonable. I love that my skin is clearing up. I am going to talk to you guys about my little skincare thing. Look at that. It's definitely an improvement, but I want to eat some cheese, and that always breaks me out, so we're going to see. I need to get out of here and go back to work because I'm here on a fast lunch break. I do recognize, thank you guys so much for bearing with me. I appreciate anybody who tunes into these videos and deals with my shenanigans. my inability to try to master this platform. I like putting spicy things on my food because it gets you fuller fast. It's like a savory kind of taste. It like, I don't know, it does something. That's a proven fact. Something about spice stops you from eating so much. It makes you feel fuller. It slows you down and everything. Not sponsored by Sriracha. So, anyways, I just have all kind of. I told him that like I felt like I was being reduced down to dirt by being. He's like, "What? How can you say that? What if I said that to you?" And I was like, "Well, you know." The only reason why I even started looking at houses was for another person to make them feel comfortable, to give them more space. I was completely fine living here in a small apartment, knowing that it was a temporary situation for me. But because another person is so social and complained about it, I tried to accommodate and to, open my mind. But if I'm not going to be able to get what I want to get, I feel like it's a wild goose chase that's going to piss me off. Like, oh, well, maybe if we take a pool off of our house search, And I'm just like, I know. I am not a spoiled brat. I'm not a woman that wants everything or expects her man to do everything, but where I live matters to me because I work hard, girl. And I live at my house 7 days a week. So I want to feel like when I come home at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's relaxing. It's beautiful. And I also want to feel like when that payment rolls by, it means something to me. Like, I'm happy to pay it. I understand why I'm paying it. If I pay a little fluff charge in that to get that feeling, I'm fine with that. But asking a man that has been a bachelor his whole life to understand that is hard. That's really hard. Why is it hard? It's hard because, and I don't want to get too much into their business, but they travel a lot. They're not home 7 days a week. And disposable income is more important to them than sinking it into your monthly expenses. I get it. I don't agree with it. What's more important to me? Taking vacations and partying with my money, or having a beautiful place that's going to stand the test of time? I'm not saying we're never going to go anywhere, but if you want to come see me at the house, what I do not like, I don't care who gets mad at it. I am 35 years old. I work hard. I'm not 20. I do not like going out into the world and doing all these nice things, and then you come home to a shithole. Nope, not for me. No. Number one, I've never lived like that before. It does make me feel like, what's the point of working? Now, I know a lot of people have downsized to save for their home. Like, they went and got like a really cheap apartment because they knew that in 1 to 2 years they were going to be out. And maybe this is a cautionary tale for somebody else. To like, don't get so caught up in living in one style or way before you're really where you want to be. As a single person, I can afford wherever I want to live. Like, in a 1-bedroom apartment, I got that on lock. I can live in any apartment complex I want to. But when I'm looking at a house, that's a whole different scenario. And you do need some room there to save up, if you want to be like an equal partner. And if you don't want to be an equal partner, Then comes in some hard compromise about what the other person is willing to do. This guy at my job today, I didn't even ask him. That's how you know the energy is real. And confirmation is real. He just came up to me randomly and started talking to me about life. He just had a baby. I don't know if he's 30 yet or not. Long story short, he was talking about how they bought a house and he got real deep. He said people want to do this social reform for healthcare or college. He said forget healthcare and college, free daycare. He was like, because if he had to do it all over again, he would have saved up so much money, like, because he never understood how people could get thousands of dollars, like $10,000 in credit card debt. But his wife took a 3-month maternity leave. So he's like, we took an $8,000 hit, $9,000 hit, and we're still not recovered, and the baby's coming up on 1 year old. That's real life. But he was like, when they were talking about their finances, she had some things out there like medical bills. He was like, he told her, those fall off in 7 years. He made me laugh too. He was like, girl, your credit is dead. It's dead. Leave it alone. Come over here and put your name on my credit card as a cosigner to help you rebuild. Stop messing with that old stuff. And I was like, wow, because I can't get there. I can't get, you guys know, I'm tired of bending. That's part of my issue, is that I can't get to the sharing of the finances. Oh, and I was charging my phone. I gotta go. I can't get to the sharing of the finances. Like, I'll submit separately but not together, because I need to do a lot of work on myself, and it kind of pushes me right back to where I need to be. I don't want to be in a place that I cannot afford by myself, or be told no by myself. I don't want what the other person is willing to do to affect the choices I have to make, which is a relationship. That's compromise. I like it being like, this is what I want, and if I want to go get it, boom, whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, what that does, it motivates me to earn more and do more. But what it really does is it makes me mad at the other person, because if I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get what I want, then what are you doing? Like, my wants are not important to you, clearly. And those are the things that divorces are made of. Because I already see it. You value your own opinion, which I do the same thing. I value my own opinion and my own style of living more than his way of living. We kind of, without saying it, disagree with the way the other person lives. And I brought up the conversation like, if I was to date all over again, sorry guys, I'm rushing. On the first or third date, these conversations that we're having now, I'll be having them then. He was like, well, that's really bad. That I wouldn't give you a second date. Fine. I would need you to get away from me quickly. And I came up on the first day like, look, I'm a very hard worker. I've been independently doing everything on my own. I really value where I live and financial stability and mental stability and good health more than anything. More than partying, more than traveling, more than having a family, being able to take care of myself in a stabilized environment is very important. I know it sounds crazy. We can have a good time or you can kick rocks. But just know that in the back of my mind, That's what it takes to really be with me in the long term. Now, if you want a short term, fine, we can do whatever. But don't ask for a long term commitment unless you are in that same mind frame. And I get why men will walk away with that, walk away from that. And that's fine for them to walk away in their 20s and 30s and stuff like that. It's fine for them to walk away in their 40s and 50s. But I don't want to be 40 or 50 years old holding on to somebody who does not subscribe to that ideology. Because the one thing about necessity and wants and disappointments, it will motivate you if you overlook anger and bitterness. So my whole thing is, which I've always felt that way, and there are women in my same job, in my same office, my last job and this job, who bought homes on their own. I would live further out. Like, I wouldn't be in, Houston. I would have to be out in like Pearland or Spring or something like that. Hold on, I've got to go, guys. So, if I want to downsize or downgrade, I don't need a partner to do that. I don't. I can go somewhere and pay half of the rent that I'm paying right now and still be living okay. I don't want, and that's where the bitch side comes out. I don't need a partner to tell me what I can't have, or if I would just consider this or just reduce that or just it's like I take shit all day for a living, period. Like, that's just what you do when you work for somebody else. I do things that I don't want to do. Like, wouldn't I want to maximize the things that I can do? And we all have different ways of thinking. Like, some people are really focused on what they consider like their end game. Like, forget the house and stuff like that, but consider retirement, like early retirement. I get that too. Basically, long story short, I think I'm going to be in an apartment for longer than I thought. Sorry, I'm kind of packing up to get out of here. I want to start a diet today, intermittent fasting and all that kind of jazz. So, but I'm also really distracted by life. Oh, Lord. Disappointment, you guys. I think the more mature you become and the more you wall yourself in and shelter yourself from it, that when it does happen, it hits you even more. Because, like, well, what is this feeling? I kind of want a piece of fruit, but I guess I can have that later. It's like, what is this feeling? Like, what did I do to deserve this or not to deserve this? Why is this not tallying up? It does motivate me to push myself independently harder. And, damn what the trolls of the internet say about me. I do know that my man really loves me. For real, for real. Without a shadow of a doubt. Now, he can go crazy tomorrow. But there's some serious love there. And I don't want to damage that over materialism. But I can see how that happens. I feel like Mr. Rogers. I can see how you get so, like, sorry guys. I can see how you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I want to see what I'm working with. I want to see some material progress in my life. But we have spent more time arguing over this house situation than anything else. I don't even want to talk to him about it anymore. not like housing, like how are we gonna live, where we're gonna live, really is the how we're gonna live together. That's an adult conversation. And I don't think you should be with somebody for a year and a half or 2 years before you have that adult conversation. And that's what we did. I wouldn't recommend it because you got so much that it's hard to it's hard to back and say, like, well, maybe we need some time apart. You know? You know, or is this the deal breaker? You know, because for me, it goes to the core of how I want to be treated. I want to get what I want in life, and especially from the man in my life. I've been through a lot in my life, like we all have. Women, no matter what, we've been through a lot, right, girls? And I guess I gotta put my money where my mouth is and be willing to work harder. I hear a crazy noise, that's why I'm looking around like, is that water? What is that? I gotta be willing to put my money where my mouth is and decide, am I okay with working hard? Sorry guys, you'll be out of the dark in a minute. Am I okay with working hard for what I want? To make it happen for myself and have a person who loves me and is willing to be fair with me, but they're not willing to pay those premium surcharges in life for some of the things that I find important. Now, they'll pay it at the bar, or they'll pay it for their friends that are in trouble, and that really does bother me. And I think I'm gonna have that conversation tonight too, because I gotta get that out my mouth, because that's how I feel about it. But see, that's gonna turn into like an ugly argument, right? Like, I don't, girl, I'm not gonna get too personal. Like, even before I made this video, I was like, how personal do I want to get? Like, you know, as people say when you talk about your personal life on social media. So I was just trying to keep it on the level of trying to buy a house with another person, you know, or change my living style after doing it by myself for so long. You know, when you do it by yourself for so long, it's easy to get your way, because you know what you can afford and where, not even what you can afford, but really what you're willing to pay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could sit in the same office every day and you might be fine with your, I don't want to call it little because I don't want to downgrade anybody else's, but I think their personality is a good one. You might be fine with your Target bag, and I might be on the internet like, ooh girl, they got some new stuff coming out, you know? And I think for me, happiness, seriously guys, like, that's why I'm trying to shake this feeling, because it's hard to find people that you really do feel like is a part of your life, and it's like a family member to you. You know, and I don't want to make a rash decision because, shoot, like at the beginning of the year, I wasn't even in the mindset of buying a house. Sorry, I'm going to put y'all back down just because I'm just feeling real chilled. I don't even feel like holding the camera up. I wasn't in the mindset of buying a house, so I have like no real preparation, you know what I mean, other than trying to prepare now. Realistically, a year or two for me to prepare would be a good idea. Seriously. that would be a realistic, feasible idea, other than trying to navigate on somebody else's territory. I don't know, y'all. I don't have all the answers. I have no answers, actually. In the part of that conversation with the man that told his wife that her credit was dead, he said that he felt that after the age of 17 that, your parenting was done. The person was pretty much who they were going to be, so just be safe. I said, I feel completely different. I feel like that my real parenting, like, you could have thrown everything out. I needed a parent there between the ages of 18 to 24 to convert, like, and he was like, well, I don't want to be doing the lecturing. I said, well, don't consider, and he got this as a message because I could see the bright light in his eyes. Don't consider parenting as a lecture, consider it a conversation. Like, a conversation about the wisdom that you would give other people. Like, if, and he laughed because we've got some things in common. Like, he was like, oh yeah, if I had to do it again, he's like, I would not have went to a 4-year college. I would have started at the company at 18 and worked my way up and allowed them to pay for my college, like through tuition reimbursement, because I didn't need to go and get all this student loan debt to do this for a living. I was like, right. And I said, for me, even like budgeting, like how he was saying, how he wished they would have saved up money, and they're savers, and he's really into like the stock market and stuff like that. Things like that the school system, doesn't teach you. And the question that came across my mind today, or really the asking, is to God, make me teachable. Because sometimes you can be too smart and it could hinder you. Like I'm like the kind of person, even if I don't tell you to your face, I feel it and I say it in my mind all the time. I know that already. Like, duh, who doesn't know that? Or I have a con. Like, I can see like the negative around situations. Like, you didn't see that coming, or I'm not going to put myself in that kind of like negative, situation, or I'm not going to put myself. Risk is the word I'm looking for. I'm not going to risk this because this and this can happen, that kind of situation. As you guys say, overthinking. Anywho. I can't believe it's 3 o'clock already. I got some work to do up in this office. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm just giving y'all my real thoughts, my real way of thinking right now. I don't even want... Oh, shit. Thank you for seeing me. I don't even want to put out any plans right now because that's not a part of my season right now. Like, I'm formulating some plans, like, in my mind, like, best case scenarios, Best case scenarios. I'm going to take it easy, Do I want to go live in a free apartment? A free corporate apartment? No. Would that make me sad? I don't know. If it's going to make me really sad and unhappy, then... Oh, God. Sometimes I have to look around up here. Looks like a whole bunch of people done went home for the day. I'm not on the visitor. I don't know. Because I know my boss is going to be looking for me in a minute because I sent him an email. Anyways, guys, I'm back at work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave your thoughts, comments down below. And have a good weekend. Let me know what you guys are doing there, too. I can't think beyond my situation. When I'm stressed out, I cannot park a car. Like, I have to redo it. Gosh, I'm just in a zone. See, and this is going to make me go ahead and sign up for that $200 a month spinning class, because why not? But what has really changed, Nothing has changed. Okay. Let me stop babbling. Bye, guys.